So, video for the fellow introverts of the world. Do you find it difficult to have relationships with people? Because I always have. Maybe not as a kid so much, although I was sort of lucky. In primary school, I was in a group of people who were kind of cool. I would say cooler than me. And then as we went to high school, I managed to hang about with those same people a lot of the time. But I'd always feel a little bit lost if I had a different class they weren't in. I did make other friends, but I would always sort of revert back to, oh, hello, regular gang. But since school, I have definitely struggled to maintain relationships. I used to have a few best friends, and I don't speak to any of them anymore, really. You know, things happen, you kind of drift apart, you don't necessarily fall out. I wouldn't say I fell out with any of the people that I used to be really close to. They either live in different places, they have families and children, which I don't have kids, so that can be quite a big thing in the way that you're both living your lives. But really, as you go on, the more time you spend away from a person, you kind of just, in my opinion, at least as an introvert, you get used to it and you don't really crave that connection that much. Like, I have moments where, I don't know, I'm playing a video game or they'll cross my mind and I think, oh, it'd have been nice if they were there with me for that. Or, you know, I could just invite them round like the old days and we'll play Mario Party together or Mario Kart. I think it's quite difficult as well as an adult. Everything's so formal. I'm not a drinker, so I don't go out for alcohol. I don't go to bars and clubs. That don't really do anything for me. But that seems to be when you hit like your late teens or your 20s and on, how you'll meet people like, oh, mate, we should catch up and go for a drink. Why? Why should we do that? Why shouldn't we just play a video game or go bowling or, I don't know, climb a fucking tree? Why does it have to be all this formal stuff? Oh, should we catch up for a coffee? I don't drink coffee, mate. I guess I can order a hot chocolate, but why are we doing it that way? So I feel like that was part of the problem for me. It just sort of felt a bit boring because, of course, a large part of a relationship is opening up to people, connecting, verbally speaking about stuff. But sometimes you just want to experience something fun. But then, obviously, if you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a partner, whatever, you kind of get a lot of your needs met through that person. Like me and Ellen don't have every single thing in common, but we do have a lot of common interests. And so why would I call up a friend from 10 years ago and say, mate, do you want to hang out, when Ellen will play Mario Kart with me or go for a walk with me or go to Go Ape, climb trees with me, go to the cinema with me? Like, you don't really feel the need for that person anymore. It does also scare me sometimes if Ellen suddenly dies in a horrendous car accident and I get a call from the police or the knock at the door at 3 a.m. going, your girlfriend's dead, mate. Obviously, I'd be very upset to lose Ellen and the connection I have with her. But I'd also be like, and I think it'd be the same for her because we are similar people, who the fuck have I got now then? Apart from like direct family, like shit. So there is a bit of a risk, I guess, when you're putting all of your eggs in one basket with a relationship. But that's the risk we take. Ricky Gervais's show, Afterlife, which I really enjoyed. He does swear a little bit excessively, I think, at least in the first season, dropping that C-bomb everywhere. That is a relatable character for me, though. I'm quite a negative person, and I don't understand people who are so joyful and happy all the time. Like, my spirit has been truly crushed by living in this world and growing up and realising the truth about a lot of different things. I feel like I would be like him if anything happened to Ellen. I would just feel sorry for myself, become very bitter towards the world. I wouldn't want to, but I know that's probably what would happen, at least for a while, before I could sort my stuff out. My arm is aching, dude. I still need to watch WrestleMania Night 1 because in the UK it was going to be between 12 and 4 a.m. and I need my sleep. I can't go to bed at that sort of time. I'll still wake up early if I do, and then I'll feel dreadful. But yeah, I'm going to put that on, watch that, go for another walk probably today. But it's also family, by the way. Like, it was my granddad's birthday 2 months ago, and I called him to wish him a happy birthday. And I said, oh, I'll aim to come round soon. I'll give you a call in the next couple of weeks. Like I say, that was 2 months ago and I haven't called him. And if I don't contact my grandparents, I'm pretty confident I'm not going to hear from them either. And I don't blame them because they're getting older and that, but I also think it does work two ways, doesn't it? If someone's not really showing an interest in you and trying to stay in contact with you, it does feel a bit forced. And maybe that's the way it is for a lot of people. Like, I would find it way easier when I was younger going with my family to spend time with grandparents because we would all mingle together and it was very nice. But now, as an adult, I have to go round on my own, or I bring Ellen, who doesn't exactly help with bringing out conversation. Luckily, my granddad talks a lot. But I feel like it's kind of, a lot of stuff feels like I'm ticking something off from a list. Like, oh, I've done that. I've seen my grandparents again. Now I don't have to worry for a few months. I don't have to live with guilt, worrying that they might die and that I ain't made an effort enough. That is really, really cold sounding, I reckon, but that is the truth. A lot of life, it just feels so busy and overwhelming to me. I'm not saying that's strictly down to being introverted. I, struggle with depression and anxiety and whatever else. I'm very highly sensitive. I like being on my own to recover my energy and to kind of think things through. That weeks and weeks will pass and I don't even realise. So like I say then, calling my granddad 2 months ago. I can't believe that was 2 months ago, but it was. And then my sister's saying, oh, hey, how are you? How was Michael McIntyre live? Because she's going next week. I was like, oh, it was really good. It was amazing. I loved it. And I sort of knew it'd come up because I started thinking, when did I last see my nephews? Because she has 2 sons. One is almost 5 and the other is, he's about 7 months old. Both lovely children. The newborn in particular is incredibly cute, like just such a happy face, and you can't help but to look at a child like that and to feel envious that they have no idea how cruel this world can be yet. That's a weird way of looking at it, but no, it's true. It's true, man. The world's fucked, isn't it? A lot of the time. But she sent me some updated pictures. Chester, who is nearly 5, he pretty much looks the same, but because Casper is so young, he looks different all the time. He's got more hair now. He's got more hair. His hair grows on his head over the space of a couple of months. But she was like, you need to see your nephews. I'm like, yes, sorry. I'm fucking shit, aren't I? But I am. And my mum, I love my mum to death. She is a brilliant mum. I couldn't ask for a better mum. But a lot of my family are quite family orientated or oriented. Can't remember which of the 2 words is correct. Whereas my dad, I can't help, I don't think, but to be like him in a lot of ways. I'm in touch with my dad a lot more now because of his partner who he's marrying in a couple of months, lovely lady called Ray. Before that, I saw my dad about once a year. And I got to the point where I was sort of content with it. I would see him for a meal and be like, good to see you, Dad. See you in another fucking year. Sometimes twice a year. But, my arm's really hurting from holding this up. But now I see my dad like once a month or every couple of months, purely because Ray likes to arrange stuff. And sometimes I find that hard. Sometimes I get a message saying last minute, like, what are you doing today? And I don't want to answer that I'm not doing anything because I want to be doing nothing. Just because I'm not actively going anywhere, in my mind, doesn't mean that I'm free and available to hang out. Like, I need a bit of notice to prepare to see people sometimes. Do you know what I mean? I don't like it being dropped on me. Like, I know why you're asking. I know you're going to invite me for a walk or something. And I know I said no last time, so now I feel like I have to say yes. And again, I want to be clear. It's not like that I dislike spending time with my family and people. It's just that I like time on my own so much that it can be difficult. So I make an effort to go and see my mum weekly. But I also feel like that could be better. Like, I go around her house often. Me and Ellen's diets are sometimes a bit difficult to attend for, but it'd be nice if we went out a bit more and did stuff apart from just going out for meals. I want to do activities with family, stuff that you'll remember when they're gone, you know what I mean? And it's nice to spend time talking to people, like I said. But I want to do stuff where in 20 years from now, or 40 years from now, when I'm a lot older, I can go back and think, oh, that was really fun, rather than, oh, all those meals were tasty, weren't they? Where we went to the same restaurants all the time. But maybe I need to try and set something up. That's better. Fucking hell, that hurt, man. So weak, I can't even hold up a telephone that weighs about, what, 20 grams? No, a bit more than that. More like 100 grams. Anyway, like I say, I'm going to watch WrestleMania. Wrestling's got interesting again. I think Logan Paul's doing a great job. You got a lot of good stars again. You got Randy Orton, who I'm sure will be due to retire very shortly. Cody Rhodes, who I didn't really like that much at first, just because I don't care about America. And what I don't like about WrestleMania or any of these events, there's always a national anthem. Americans seem to, at least, have so much pride in themselves. Like, what an amazing country we have. I don't feel that way. I tell you what I did watch yesterday. I'm trying to think what it was called. It was a reenactment. It's just gone on Netflix in the last couple of days. It was like a reenactment and kind of documenting the events leading up to interviewing Prince Andrew about him being a pedo and a nonce. It was incredibly well done. The interview itself, which I then watched the real one after, which I've watched a few times because he's such a bad liar that it's hilarious. So I was watching this, and they really got the mannerisms dead on. They looked very much like Prince Andrew and the lady from BBC Newsnight interviewing him. And he clearly thought, by signing up to do that interview, I'm going to be able to clear my name here and like make things better because everyone's calling me a fucking nonce because I'm hanging about with Jeffrey Epstein and now he's dead, but all this stuff's come out. And it did not help at all. His ability to lie is so hilariously bad. Like, oh, I couldn't have been there on the day I was at Pizza Express in Woking. What, you remember that from like years and years ago? Yeah, because I don't go there very often. So when I go to Pizza Express, I write it in my diary. Like, absolute bullshit, as if he's going to go there. Oh, I would not go to Pizza Express. I mean, it's better than Pizza Hut, but I'm a fucking prince of the royal family. I wouldn't be seen with peasants. You can imagine how they'd feel about that. What else? I don't know, you should watch it, though. The sweating thing, that was particularly funny. He just sort of burst out laughing in the actual interview and in the reenactment. Huh! Well, the thing is, I don't sweat, or at least I didn't sweat at the time because I was suffering from a rare medical condition, from too much adrenaline from the Falklands War. What? I don't know if that's a real thing, but I'm pretty sure PTSD and that kind of stuff, you would get sweaty. You would wake up in a sweat. I've never heard of people just stop sweating, but maybe. But the fact he was saying that as if like, it can't be true. But what I respected and learned a bit was the planning that went into that interview on the side of BBC, because they wanted to catch him. They knew he was guilty. It was obvious. He was going around spending time on Epstein's Island. He was going to all of his mansions and that. He's like, well, I never saw anything. I was just hanging out with my mate, who's a fucking like massive paedophile. And not just a paedophile, sex offender, trafficker, like, so much immoral stuff at the high level. Why is everyone in power a paedophile, by the way? It seems everyone. I don't trust any human beings anymore. They're all corrupt. But anyway, I've probably made this segment a little bit too long. This was meant to be about being an introvert. I need some food. I need a drink. I need to sit down and watch some WWE. Cheers for watching, guys. Peace.